to be alive. Hi there. No, I didn't paint this. I don't know what's going on here. I had this red thing before and got some stuff from the dermatologist, but then my nose has been running today, so it kind of got it going again. But apart from that, things are good. Hope it's not too much of a distraction. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it because who knows. Anyway, today's reading once again it's fairly self-explanatory. It really doesn't need a lot of explanation. Oddly enough, this morning and part of the early afternoon, I was helping with a training for advanced practitioners of emotional freedom technique. And the same instructor who taught me the same course beginning in 2023, she was asking people about how they got grounded. And funnily enough, there were quite a lot of people. There's 14 people on the program altogether, including 3 of us who were assisting the instructor and 10 students. And she was asking about getting grounded. And amazingly, a whole bunch of people spoke about meditating and going into breathing in quiet time, which was, I thought, kind of surprising. Just out there in the general world, the people attending the course were all the way from Canada and the US, all the way over to Ireland, UK, and then Italy. So, yeah, so it's kind of amazing. Well, maybe it really isn't, because people who like helping other people, I guess, do tend to be grounded. So, first quote is from Henry David Thoreau, another famous personage from the 19th century, the 1800s, who was actually a good friend of Emerson's. He stayed with the Emersons for a while, I believe. Rev Kelly's called this a day of vitality, as I said, and Henry David Thoreau says, it's not enough to be busy. So with the ants, the question is, what are we busy about? What are we busy about? And Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook says, our mind must be steady in its conviction that our life is some part of God and that the Spirit is incarnated in us. And that's on page 159 of the Science of Mind textbook. Of course, that's the 1930s edition. And this is from Rev Kelly, who says, after the busyness of the holiday season and the settling of returning to work, our enthusiasm often wanes, and we may be blue. Being blue can happen to us at any time, particularly this time of year amid the long, dark days and cold winter. When we feel down, a dose of vitality is the answer. Reinvigorating ourselves with an enthusiasm for life is what our spirit needs. Then she asks a question, what connects you with the energizing pulse of life? Rather than wallow in the depths of despair, take time to acknowledge your blues and make a concerted effort to do something that connects you with spirit. Vitality is not about being busy just for the sake of busyness. It's about engaging in life-giving activities that feed your soul. We can be busy running in circles, avoiding our feelings and our emotions, and using busyness to distract us from what actually ails us. Today, consciously care for yourself and invite vitality into your space. Embrace a feeling of aliveness. Play some uplifting music. Move your body. Anything from small stretches to a invigorating run will increase your blood flow and get oxygen moving through your body and your mind. Not only is vitality a feeling of being healthy and energetic, but mentally, it brings us a sense of meaning and purpose. What one thing can you do to infuse vitality into your life, your day, today? So, pretty good question. Oddly enough, when I read the feeling of making us blue, took me way back to when I was a kid. I must have been, somewhere between 8, 9, or 10. I've always been into science fiction and science fantasy, right from being whenever I can remember reading, and science as well. But I remember I used to get a comic called The Eagle, and it was, yeah, mostly about science fiction, science fantasy. And in there were some people who were kind of evil, I guess, as far as human beings are concerned. They were aliens and they were blue. So strangely enough, that's what came back to me today when I heard this. But for the rest, I don't think I go through a blues period at the beginning of the year. Probably because when I was at work, I very seldom got off the whole vacation season beforehand. I always seem to be one of those people who had to work through part of the holidays and then take some extra break after the holidays. So maybe that's why I never got into the blues thing. Have I been through this blues period? Yeah, but it's to me, it's I don't recall it being at the beginning of the year. But the bottom line is this: our lives have purpose. Our purpose is to grow and expand. Our purpose is to become evolving beings. And if we think about that, then it really doesn't matter what time of the year, what season it is that we start to evolve. Do I like winter? No, not really. When I was in my teens and early 20s, I used to do a lot of rock climbing, and we would climb 12 months a year. Wouldn't care what the weather was. We've been ice climbing. I actually climbed up frozen uh, waterfalls with fixes and crampons on our feet. But if I got to be honest with myself, I'm not a big fan of winter. I prefer warmer weather. My wife, who was born on the equator in Indonesia, doesn't really like hot weather, which is kind of wacky because I mean, Indonesia is a fairly hot country, and but she prefers the colder weather. I don't say she likes it really cold, but colder, you know. So anyway, the message to me today is this: that whatever the season, whatever is going on, we need to do our spiritual work, and it's not always called spiritual work. Our work, as the people were saying this morning on the call there, the Zoom call, Zoom lesson, that they got involved in meditation and breathing in the mornings, and some of them would do it twice a day, mornings and afternoons, mornings and evenings. So I think the whole purpose is having a purpose in life. And if you have a purpose, then you don't go through these blues, or if you do, they're very short-lived. So what is one of my purposes? It's helping people. That's why I became a practitioner. That's why I became a minister. That's why I went through the diaconate program when I was a member of the Catholic Church. This is why I mediate. It's why I do a lot of stuff with the Chamber of Commerce that's related to nonprofits. One of my main purposes in life is helping people. And it's just the way I am. And people who don't like doing that, I don't think any less of them because they don't like doing it. They're just different than I am. We all have our purpose. So I think the whole answer here is to find our purpose. And one of the ways we do that is through our spiritual work, talking to other people, talking to like-minded people. So that's what I get out of it. It's to figure out what our purpose is if we don't know. And once we figure out what our purpose is to stick to it. So that's all I got for you today. If you are a member of Creative Life Spiritual Center or affiliated with it in any way, you probably know that Reverend Lisa was on this morning at 9:15ish, and she'll be back at 9:15 tomorrow morning. Our service was at 11. And if you missed any of that or you missed any of mine in the past, then just go to our Facebook page. You get the whole thing. If you go to YouTube, you'll get our services without the music. And then, as I said before, coming up on Wednesday, once a week, middle of the day, 11:15, Daniel Murkidal, one of our practitioners, is doing a meditation just to kind of break the week up. Some people call it hump day. Maybe we should call it meditation day. So tune in for that. Go to Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page and you will find it there. And if you got this on my homepage, well, there's links there to everything, and I'll put some more up. Oh, and one other thing. Yes, I'm teaching a class. It begins at the beginning of February. It's called The Trance of Scarcity. It's based on a book by a lady called Castle who wrote The Trance of Scarcity. The whole book's based on that. It's really cool. It opened my eyes. It's a great book. And Shaking Up Your Subconscious was the original title of the class. Now it's reverted back to The Trance of Scarcity. So it is all about shaking up our subconscious and helping us to realize who we are and how we can progress. It's a pretty down to earth book. So I think it's a great book. So anyway, until tomorrow, hopefully minus this red mustache here, I will see you then. Take care. Oh yeah, especially in this weather. Take care of yourself. Take care of others who need it. If you've got pets indoor or outdoor, please take care of them. And until tomorrow, namaste.